Ryan and Kevin, they're spitting the truth, keeping it real, keeping it orange and blue. Talking recruit, who's next in line? Line our pride, it's about that time. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue. From the court to the field, every play, every step. Debating the cause where the game is at. Who's rising, who's falling, who's making the cut. Line 9 for life, never stuck in the rut. Okay, recruiting buzzer got the inside line. Post game chatter, they're always on time. Breaking it down, they're the voices you trust. Orange and blue, yeah, they repping for us. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue, yeah. So tune in, lean back, let the wisdom flow. Ryan and Kevin with the knowledge they throw. Line 9 Nation, this one's for you. Forever proud, keeping it orange and blue, yeah. Orange and blue, orange and blue, yeah. Orange and blue, orange and blue, yeah.
Welcome. It's Sunday night, and you know what that means. Another episode of Keeping It Orange and Blue. I'm Ryan Trout, joined as always by my good friend Kevin Ducey. What's up, Kev?
Keeping it more blue than orange right now.
Hey, it's all right though. Being honest, that's great, man. That's why people That's why I hope you all tune in, keeping it real. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's more blue than orange. That's a good perspective there. And just forewarning for everybody before this, because I know there could be some sensitive Sallys on X who've come at me or Kev even sometimes. Nothing that is stated on this show has anything to do with the men or women that are coaching or on the Illini. It has nothing to do with their character. Okay, so there's your precursor. So for people who get a little upset, because I've had many people message me over the years who think I'm attacking people. This is all about the things that they do on the field or the court. So we'll obviously over the weekend, Illinois football in a huge game for their college football playoff implications took on a very good Washington team. It was a 3.5 point spread when the game started, and Illinois did a lot of good things. I would say offensively, we'll get into the specifics, but did a lot of good things. Sadly, the things they didn't do very well, took it was just too much to overcome, and a lot of uncharacteristic things as well, Kevin, not just defensively. We saw that on the offensive side as well. So the thing I got as we roll into the show, Kev, is in the big games, the 3 losses Illinois had in their big games, they beat themselves quite a bit. And you would have hoped that the team could have learned from Ohio State to capitalize on a moment like this, but sadly they didn't. We saw some really silly, dumb penalties that really hurt the team,
Yeah, and it was a moment like, the Brandon Henderson penalty was bad. It was, I kind of appreciate looking out for your quarterback, but it's unnecessary. I mean, the guy just tackled him. Like Luke's a ball carrier at that point. Like it wasn't like he was – I appreciate guys looking out for the quarterback, but that was dumb. This isn't Tony Pachos against Louisville going and body slamming a guy after he hits Kurt Kittner late. Like this is different. The challenge is there is no room for error when you play good teams because of where the defense is currently. Hey, sweetheart.
Star of the show. Couldn't resist.
This keeps it orange for me, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Good night.
I was told my hair was too orange at school.
No.
I like it.
Looks good.
Oh. And so we have things like, there's the muff punt we can't get on, the couple little fumbles that they have that bounce up and they make plays, the drop interception by Kreutz. We have to capitalize on all those things when you're playing an offense like Washington with a defense where ours is currently situated. It's not a good defense. It's bad. It's just not good right now. There is just guys who are just like, you see like Torrey Cox get beat on a play and he's pointing around looking at guys, and I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. I think Steve Profit had a thing. He said a defense either attacks or is attacked. We play on our heels. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think that's the case. I think we got a lot of guys that are playing a little bit like like too much, they're thinking too much, and they're not just reacting and getting downhill and playing. And I think part of that is that we had a game plan that worked to control Jalen Daniels last year, the same game plan that worked to control Lenore Sellers. It was a game plan that thought we were going to work to control Damon Williams. And it's not working for this team. I don't think that style of play, it fits who this personnel is. We've yet to see the turbo package. Now we're lucky enough. I think Malik Washington from Maryland can move a little bit, but he's not. Mm-hmm. He's not an athlete he's probably more like Julian saying from an athletic standpoint, right? From what I've
and Ethan Kaliak Manis is beat to shreds.
Yeah, he's not moving much. Stone doesn't move much. So obviously the Wisconsin quarterback.
It's some guy that was bagging groceries last week, I think.
So I think you got to get you've got to turn on the mentality to be an attack-based defense, and screw it if we give up the big play, we give up the damn big play. Like turn these dudes loose, let them eat, let them go do what they're going to do, because where we're at right now is not working. You've got to change something. And it pains me to say it. I mean, everybody who knows this show, watches this show more than once, knows that I'm friends with Aaron. I've known him for a long time. He and I briefly talked after the game, just through some texts. Like, he's not happy. He's not pleased with what his guys are doing. And he didn't put blame on anybody. Like, he didn't blame anybody. It was a bad performance all the way around. And I know that there's a lot of people screaming for us firing. I'm not going to stand up here and do that. It's just they've got to start becoming a downhill defense. They've got to get Otaluga in some pass rush opportunities. They bring in Brown a little bit. This 3-man front is not working. We've got to change some things, because this like you said in our text chain leading up to this, we now have 4 games left with Luke Altmaier and most likely Barry Lundy Jr. If he gets an opportunity, takes a job. Luke Altmaier, like I said, I think he's the best quarterback that we've had at Illinois in my life, and I want to see him. I want to see him go out with a bang. I mean, I was watching at the end of the game. The only thing I was watching for is hope Luke could put up some more stats. I was hoping he could move up the record book, because I love the kid and I love what he's done for the program.
Love you, Big Reese.
But at the same time, Ryan, like you said, it shouldn't be that finite where we're at, but it currently is, that we have to capitalize on all those mistakes. Hudson Clement at West Virginia caught contested balls. He drops a ball in the end zone. Now, that was a tough play, but the other drop is big. Beatty drops a ball that ends up being an interception ball that hit him in the chest. But the ball was placed perfectly.
Yep.
It was a tough window. There wasn't much there. It was placed perfectly. You got to come down with it. James Kreutz, you just blew a coverage 2 plays earlier where you left the slot receiver open in your zone assignment, and you got reeled too far in on the play action, and then you drop a ball. That would have flipped the entire game. 17-14, we're winning. They're coming down to score. We're going to get the ball in the second half. He's probably going to get across midfield at worst after that pick. He had tons of green. He could have house called it.
If he doesn't, Kev, even if he just catches it and runs 10 yards, guess what? Illinois has the ball to start the second half. You have all the momentum.
You got the lead. You could possibly get. Let's say we get 3 out of there. We're up 20-14 with the ball coming back. You got all the mo, and it just is like, what are we doing? And
Sean, let's stay in the moment here, man. Let's stay in the moment.
For right now, I do. All right, so there's some things, and I'll talk about a little bit later too. There's still a lot to be won here. There are 4 games left on this schedule, 4 winnable games left on this schedule. We've got Rutgers coming up. We'll get into that. They're a very good offense and a very bad defense. Maryland is a good defense and a bad offense, and they don't travel very well.
Yeah.
Wisconsin is just bad all the way around. Better defense, horrible offense. Northwestern, I don't know what they are. They're weird. They're scrappy. They're not that good. So
they're Northwestern. I would say solid defense for sure. Mm-hmm. Offense, they don't really throw it much. They have a good running back. A lot. They have a good running back. Very good running back. So. But again, not a winnable game that Illinois will probably be favored by, I'd say 7 to 10 points. So,
and here's the thing. Yes, the college football playoff was still available to Illinois. To do what? Right? I was of the delusion of grandeur when I'm looking at some of these middling teams. Like, I don't buy into Bama or Vandy or Missouri or some of these teams that are in the top whatever, Virginia or any of the ACC teams that are going to make it outside of Miami. I think Miami's still really good. Texas A&M showed me something. That's clearly the third or fourth best team in the country. I think Oregon is too. We probably wouldn't play a team like that if we would have made it into the college football final playoff. We would have played a team, but we would have played a team better than Washington, and we probably would have got our ass kicked. So now's time to regroup, possibly, like Sean said, or like Brandon said, we can win back-to-back 10-win seasons. We can win back-to-back 9-win seasons, which we have never done. I looked it up today. We've never done it. Back-to-back 9-win seasons. Never. And so there's still a lot to play for. This team is still a pretty good football team. We still have a really damn good quarterback. We have a really good offense. We just got to fix some things on defense.
Yes. And the perspective of all this, and I'm not going to harp on this a long time. So I don't think that Aaron Henry should be fired in the middle of the year anyway, regardless for anybody.
I don't know what good it would do, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I know I'm biased. That's okay. But I think
I know this. We know this, Kevin. It would hurt the recruiting class. We know that.
There are some things that need to be addressed after the season. We need to see some drastic improvement in the last 4 games.
Yes. So, and that's another thing I wanted to say too from everybody that, yes, I have been more bullish of late of being I gave Illinois a pass last year, Aaron Henry, because the defense was better at bending and not breaking, and the point totals show that. And at the end of the day, it's all about how many points you give up, not how many yards you give up. But Aaron Henry's defenses at Illinois have always given up a lot of yards. Year one, it was bad because it was, it's a transition year, right? It's his first year of being a defensive coordinator. I get it.
We were hanging the hat on 2 guys up front that were injured all year.
Yes. So you give him a pass for that, right? So year 2, bending, not breaking, and an average to middle of the pack defense, points per game and stuff. I'm okay with that. That's why Illinois won 10 games last year, because the defense wasn't doing what it's doing now. So this year, I made a comment to Kev earlier, Illinois, if they can win 9 games this year, if things don't improve defensively, it will be in spite of the defense. And it is a rarity to have that, but Illinois does have a very, very good offense. They have a very good special teams unit, and when you have a punter that's pretty good and a field goal kicker that's pretty much automatic, that helps cover up some defensive deficiencies, especially an offense that can move the ball at the pace that Illinois does. They weren't the problem yesterday in Seattle. As you said, I say Illinois put up the most points on Washington all year. The most, so if you look in Washington, their losses this year, Ohio State scored 24 points. And you look at Michigan, 24 points. Illinois scored 25 and probably should have had more than that, right?
Could have had in the mid-30s. Could have had in the mid-30s for sure.
And it sounds like the Ohio State game, right, Kev? Could have had it, but they didn't. But the point is, they still did. They scored 25 points. So that was enough to beat Washington. The defense just needed to be average yesterday, and you would have given yourself a chance.
Yeah, and
and think about all those. Think about all those real quick, Kevin. Think about all those opportunities you said. 5 opportunities to come up with something, right? One of them changes the game. You just needed one.
Well, and the other aspect about it is we ran the ball pretty effectively yesterday. 4.8 yards per carry. Fagan, 5 carries, 32 yards. Like 5 carries, not enough for that guy right now. Like in that game, I thought he was highly effective, but you can't run the ball when you're chasing, when you're trying to catch up and score points. So like and I agree with what some of the folks said. Bill Moe and Brandon Lampe here, they said, and Brandon, forgive me if I'm pronouncing your last name incorrectly, but I don't think the scheme that we have fits our personnel right now. And I think, and it's really frustrating after a bye week that hasn't been corrected. I think that we need to let these guys go try to be dogs. And if we give up a big play, we give up a big play. Now, I don't know that Rutgers is the right team to do that with, because their offense can hurt you, but
I think when you got a guy like Athan who's not going to move a lot, who's got a bad knee, I think and you know what? Someone commented, I think it was Brandon, or Gabe Akis has not been used very well this year. He has not been able to really attack the quarterback like he needs to be able to be.
Yeah, and he's also like, I don't know where Gabe's at in his head right now, because I'm not seeing a lot from him either. He doesn't win one-on-one matchups, and he's got to start doing that. He's got to start doing that. I came in positive to this game. I thought they were going to be without their left guard and left tackle. Both guys are back.
Both guys were healthy. Yeah, I think that guy may have fed your the Illini guys something.
Well, no, a lot of guys that I talked to were all on the same page, and so good for Washington. They're healthy. That's a good football team. They're a very good football team at home. Not to take anything away from Damon Williams and Jonah Coleman and Denzel Boston, the latter two who are NFL players, right?
They're going to give Oregon all they can handle on that last weekend.
I agree, and their DBs are really freaking good too. And they're cocky sons of bitches, man. I wanted to beat them.
They're doing the 6-7. Okay, so and it was. But with all that said, Kev, Illinois still moved the ball up and down the field pretty well.
Yeah, we ran the ball for 138 yards, almost 5 yards a carry. We threw the ball for 200. 9 yards per completion. I mean, Luke was not under a ton of duress, like he was. It just was like we just didn't make the plays we needed to make the plays, and it got out of hand on us a little bit. So yeah, Bill Mo, I saw him, Torrey Cox throw his hands up 3 times after wide open passes, like saying this zone shit don't work. Like, well, where are you? Like, I see other guys matched up. Why are you not continuing to follow your guy? Like,
okay. And here is where I lead to this. So, and we're going to move on and we're going to talk about Rutgers. But for me, the thing with Aaron Henry and this whole thing, it has to be held accountable to some degree, because at the end of the day, they're his players.
Yep.
Okay. That he helped recruit a lot of the secondary. Even when Ryan Walters was here, he was a big part of it. Jaheim Clark is a guy. He is his guy. Caleb Patterson is his guy. He was big in getting Torrey Cox to come, as long with Coach Parker.
And
Coach
Taiwan.
Parker. Yeah. Yep. So why isn't it working? Why does he need work and help still figuring his personnel out? Brett Bielema makes these comments.
I don't get that.
He says Aaron Henry's still figuring out his personnel. Okay. He said that 3 weeks ago. To me, that's worrisome. Now, when your head coach has to say, I may get involved in third downs, because whatever it is that Aaron Henry is calling right now on 3rd and longs is not working, Kev.
Yeah. The third and 15 conversion was just such a backbreaker. And I don't understand. You can run some mix of man and still spy a quarterback. And why can't you bring in a nickel to spy a quarterback in a situation like that? Why can't you go to a dime and Mac Resetich was brought in the second half to start spying him. So there's some things that we got to clean some of this stuff up. The thing is like, granted, Rutgers has proven that they're a pretty good offense. I don't think they're as good as Washington. I don't think they're as good as Duke. I don't think they're as good as USC. I don't think they're as good as Ohio State. I think they're better than Purdue, right? That's where I think Rutgers ranks from an offensive standpoint, despite what the metrics will say, because Rutgers has played a pretty damn easy schedule. Their win-loss total doesn't say it, but they haven't really played many
Purdue let another one off the hook this week.
They did, absolutely. So
I mean, there's a reason that Illinois is a 10.5-point favorite already, 11.5, whatever.
Yeah.
Illinois at home next week, as we delve into this with Rutgers, should take care of business if they're actually focused. Here's the thing. If Illinois isn't focused and ready to say, we can still win 9, get to 10, we can do something that no other team group has done in this program. If that doesn't matter to these guys, then there's going to be a chance Illinois loses 1 or 2 of these last 4 games. But if you say man to man, hat on a hat, talent to talent, coach to coach, Illinois should win the last 4 games. But that's why you play the games. So let's transition into Rutgers here. You already started. Yeah, Ethan Kaliak-Manis' son, Torres, is the Rutgers quarterback. He's had his best season so far as a quarterback. He started out at Minnesota, and he kind of had a little rough patch there. He was their guy, though. Fleck really liked him, and I think after his second year where –
I think Gabe Atkins punching him in the head just ruined his time at Minnesota.
Yeah, Fleck gave up on him because they went and got whoever the guy was last year from New Hampshire. He's the reason that Ethan transferred to Rutgers, is that he pretty much lost his starting spot. So, but Kaliak-Manis is a very good quarterback if you give him time. You know, we saw that last year up in New Jersey where Illinois had to come and make a deep comeback late in the game. But they have two really good wideouts, Ian Strong and KJ Duff, two of the best, I'd say, combo duo in the Big Ten. Ian
Duff
Strong
was
actually
last week.
Yeah. So I've watched a lot of Rutgers games because they've been on Big Ten Network quite a bit. So Ian Strong did not play against Purdue, and that's something to watch out for this week. Is he was really limited. He got injured in the Oregon debacle a couple weeks ago where they got beat 56-3, and this week he dressed, tried to warm up but couldn't go. So he's really probably not going to be 100% this week. If he goes, he's going to be a guy still probably nursing something. It's like a lower leg injury, but get a really good player. KJ Duff's really good too. Had 260 yards against Purdue.
240, and he's 6'6", 225. He's a big boy,
So, and then they have another guy, a quick speedster, KJ Sheffield,
DT Sheffield,
who they like to. Yeah, DT Sheffield. My bad. He reminds me of he's just like a big.
He's like Isaiah Williams light.
Yeah, yes. So they've got some guys, but their offensive line not good, not good. Purdue, if you look at the numbers, Kev, I don't know. Purdue sacked Ethan Kaliak-Manis at least 4 times. Not sure. They sacked Luke twice. So
one of those was 1% on Luke. One of those.
Yep. So Rutgers offensive line not good. That's maybe a reason that maybe you see Henry put a little more pressure on him. I would say they beat a lot of teams with the deep ball. So I watched them play Washington, and they had a couple big plays over the top. I do know some of Washington's defensive backs were out that game, so that probably hurt them there.
Yeah, they were missing both of the big corners.
There we go. They were missing Prysock and Terrico Davis.
Demario Davis, yeah.
Demario Davis, yeah. So they missed both of those guys, which you could tell. If Illinois had been playing a Washington like that, I think Illinois wins yesterday. But your take with that, Kev, going forward, do you think a little more pressure on a weak offensive line for Rutgers? We're going to get into the offensive matchup. Yeah.
Right, and one of the things I thought our run defense held up well. I mean, I think the guy we did miss and should not be taken lightly is like Tomiwa Durajai didn't play. I thought Tomiwa had been the best defensive lineman for the team this year. I think James Thompson's been real steady. He got a little bit banged up and popped back in there, but I thought the run defense overall was pretty solid. Rutgers does not really run the ball all that well. Antoine Raymond is their guy that they lean on. They clearly miss my guy. As a Bears fan, I really like him. Raymond averages about 5 yards a carry. He's a stout sucker as well, like 5'11", 205, number 3. But they've not run the ball as effectively as typical teams do. And Kaliak-Manis, like you said, he's a little bit of a statue, can turn the ball over. He's got 5 picks on the year. He was sacked 5 times by Purdue. I do think this is a game where Illinois gets into the backfield a little bit more because you're not as worried about Kaliak-Manis' legs. I mean, he's run 69 times for -7 yards as long as 15 this year. He's not nearly the athletic quarterback that he was when he came up with Minnesota, right? If anybody remembers that Minnesota-Illinois game in 2022, that is the game where Gabe Yakus punched him in the head. As he came in off the bench for Minnesota, and he was pretty athletic there. So I think that what you can really do is you can really exploit their defense. The defense is pretty porous. And I think that Illinois, this would probably be they might be a worse defense than Purdue. I could be wrong, but I think that Illinois will be able to put up some points on them.
Purdue rushed for over 200 yards on Rutgers yesterday. Didn't have tons of throwing yards because they really didn't need it, but
it was a little bit sweet too, wasn't it? Rainy there. I think
it was a kind of a overcast, rainy, but I can tell you this: Purdue, like they usually do, they find a way to lose. They just dumb. You fumble in your own territory late in the game. Ryan Brown threw a ball that got tipped. He caught it and then tried to run with it, got stripped, and then Rutgers pretty much ran the ball for 10 yards and kicked a game-winning field goal. It was just anyway. So Rutgers defense, I would say, is actually it's Rutgers, Purdue, Illinois, I think, in terms of points per game in the Big Ten play. So
Loud.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, points per game allowed. It's Rutgers behind in Purdue and then Illinois. So I'm pretty sure it's something like that. There may be one other one in front of Illinois, but Illinois is either 15 or 16. But I know Rutgers is behind them. So
yeah, Rutgers is 107th in the nation in yards allowed rushing per game at 176. Illinois gets the ground game under, like, they're giving up 6 yards a carry on the season. That's, I mean, from context here, Illinois is 51 at 131 and 4 yards a rush. They're almost, what is that, 50 plus places worse than Illinois, 2 more yards per carry, 40 more yards per game. And we know that our defense has not been that good. So their rush defense
I would say
is really bad.
It's a high of 53 Saturday. You sure it's going to be chilly in the morning, 37, but it's still going to be maybe probably upper 40s, low 50s to start the kickoff. So
we're on that 11 a.m. kick, right?
Yeah, on NBC. Yep, I have it right in front of me.
Rutgers is 121st in the country in total defense, 437 yards per game. They are the 3rd worst Power 4 conference team, ahead of Oklahoma State and Arkansas as far as total yardage. So, and I know that our defense is not good. Our defense is 73rd. I mean, we give up 60 less yards per game than them. So this is one of those things that, and I agree with Jason Ron. And Jason, I'll talk about that in my final thoughts about what we can expect from a crowd standpoint. But this is a game where I think we can control the ball. I think I look for a big game from Fagan. By the way, I'm really worried about Khalil Valentine. Okay. He is, in my opinion, our most talented running back. And I don't think that that's a stretch to say. His ability to move the pile when he makes contact, his ability to break tackles is really good. His ability to make people miss is really good. He puts the ball on the turf too much. He was down when he fumbled, but he's got to stop fumbling, man. He's got to stop fumbling. It's a problem. So,
read that comment I just put up there from Bill.
Well, I'm going to be pissed if we get 8-4. I don't see any reason why we should lose one of these games.
Yeah, I agree, but I will tell you, 18 wins in 2 years is more than Lovie Smith had in his whole tenure. So again, it's all about perspective again. But I remember what I said, you guys. 8-4 is the floor, and I still feel like that's. Remember, it was 7.5 was the over under. So Vegas, looking at Illinois' talent, looking at their schedule, Vegas had 7.5. So think about that. If Illinois does go 8-4, they basically told Vegas, "Hey, you can stick it." And 9 will definitely be a big, hey, forget about it. I think earlier in the season when I predicted 10-2, I think 9-3 was always a reality. And I think when you're with your 10-2, 9-3 was always a real reality as well. We always kind of
100% with games at Duke, a much improved USC team. I didn't know Indiana. I did not know Indiana was going to be that good. Right, I did not realize that Indiana is the best team in the country. I think they're the best team in the country right now.
And also Washington, we knew that was going to be tough. We weren't really sure how good they would be, but
I thought we might win that game because I thought Damon Williams might be beat up by this time in the season because he's tiny and he's a really good player and he makes plays for them. So
yeah, and if Illinois, we go back and say the 5 toughest games, Illinois finished 2-3. You go at Duke. And then you beat USC at home. I mean, it's not a failure of a year. You know what I mean? Things could be a lot worse. Just look around. I have perspective. Am I disappointed that this team's probably not going to make the CFP? Yes. But what if Illinois can get to 9, which I think is very possible, even win 8 games and do it for the second time? They've never done that. Well, even 2 years back-to-back 8, right, Kevin?
They've done 8. Went 88. I think they won 8, and 89 they won 10.
It'd be the first time in 35, 36 years. Yeah.
But we've never won 9 in 9 games in regular season back to back. Never done it.
So that's still possible, big time. But yeah, so With Rutgers, I would say this. I think 45 to 50,000 probably will be the crowd. I don't believe it will be a sold out, even if it is already paid sold out. But it's going to be a loud crowd. There'll be quite a bit of people there.
Well, more people
11
than
a.m.
Washington did from a percentage of filling the seat standpoint. Holy crap, dude! There were a lot of empty seats in that building.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them. How many people can fit in that thing?
I think about 70 some, but they did not come close to filling it. It's those overhangs that just generate all that noise. So
Yeah, okay. I mean, it did look like a really good crowd on the sidelines, though. They were filled up all the way up to the top. It looked like behind the back end zone looked like it was kind of empty. Let's see. Since they didn't pass the 5 for 5, yes, for next year's team, a lot of the transfer portal is going to be huge. It is. The 5 for 5 hurts in some aspects, but obviously the transfer portal, I would say, where they use a lot of NIL money to retain guys, they're going to be using that in the transfer portal this year. I think that's going to be a huge thing. And also, we'll see if Xavier Scott can come back. He might want to. Remember, he only played 2 games, and who knows what his stock looks like now, So there's still quite a bit of talent that's returning next year. The offensive line is the big one. Now, with you to finish up with Rutgers, I really wonder the Tomawa injury. How serious was it? It was a bye week. He played, right? He played against Ohio State, and then they had a bye week. I don't remember him coming off the field against Ohio State injured. So
yeah, I don't know what's happening there. So we'll just have to wait and see. I hope to get him back. Really hope to get him back.
So as we transition to the UF Illinois scrimmage, let's go ahead and give our predictions for Rutgers. I'll let you go first.
I think we hang a 40-burger, 41-27 Illini.
I like it. I might not say that. I'm going to say Illinois 38, Rutgers 21. I think Illinois is going to win. They're going to cover the spread and and I think the defense will come out and play with a little bit of pride at least. I don't know if they're not going to come out and dominate, but I think they'll make enough big plays, and Illinois' offense has got enough to do what they need to do against a bad Rutgers defense that really hasn't stopped anybody. So
yeah, so Rutgers offensively, like the total numbers are better than ours. The best defense they played all year is either Iowa or Oregon. They haven't and their defense is bad. And I mean, they played juggernauts like Ohio, Miami of Ohio, Norfolk State, all these juggernaut offenses, Iowa, Minnesota. They played Washington, Oregon, and Purdue. But like they really like the defense is bad, and they haven't played really stiff competition for this team. So I'm pretty
Ohio put 31 on them, so
they did. They should have won the game. Well, Miami, who couldn't score against Wisconsin, hung 17 on them. Norfolk State put 10 on them. Like, I mean, they are not a good defense, and they have not played a juggernaut schedule. They gave up 38 to Iowa, 31 to Minnesota, like 38 to Washington. I think that Illinois, they gave up 38 to Washington, who was playing without their offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I think that Illinois' offense could come out here. I think it's going to be probably a similar score to like that Purdue game, which was at 43-27. I think it's something similar there. So yep. I do think their big playability in the pass game and their wide receivers. Now, if they don't have Strong, and you could probably put Clark on Duff. Cuff, is it Duff or Cuff? KJ? Yeah.
It's KJ Duff.
KJ Duff. That you'll be able to maybe limit his big play production. So now I'm pretty confident this team bounces back. We cannot have a situation like last year where we got beat at Oregon and came back home and let Minnesota beat us again. We had our 2-game losing streak in the middle of the season again. Let's move forward. We're all right. And
another thing too to finish that up, there's enough older guys that have been through this multiple years that here's our 2-game lose that they know. You can look back to last year, Minnesota. Why did you lose the Minnesota game? What happened? What happened there? Had to have been something that was not right, and they got to get it fixed. So I am confident they will. So now let's go to obviously something really important and fun, and just hearing about it. None of it really saw other than they have posted highlights. By the way, finally Illinois posted the highlights. Yesterday, Illinois took part in a closed scrimmage against defending national champion Florida. It sounds like Florida won 96-86, but again, you got to remember, take that with a grain of salt. The coaches stop in between moments and talk about situations and scenarios, and it is competitive. The guys do want to win, but remember, this wasn't a full game in the sense of they're wanting specific guys to play a certain amount. Like Tomislav Ivicic played well, but he was playing in limited minutes, okay, on purpose. It wasn't like, hey, this is a game we got to go out there. And if this was the NCAA tournament against Florida, they weren't putting him in you're only playing 15 minutes, So those things matter too. Mihailo Petrovic played 2 minutes. Sounds like he re-aggravated his hamstring. I haven't been told how it's serious, but it is something precautionary. So he said he felt like a little bit in his leg, and they were like, you know what? Not worth it. It's a closed scrimmage. So he played 2 minutes. And I want to clarify this for some of the boneheads on there who are trying to argue with me on X. He had been already cleared injury-wise to participate in the scrimmage. He was cleared by the NCAA to play in real games. So I posted my tweet yesterday because I had seen numerous accounts saying free Mihailo. He has been freed, okay? He will be eligible and able to play against Jackson State if Coach Underwood wants him to. If his hamstring will allow him to and they think he's good to go, he will play. But he is not being held back from the NCAA. Illinois just didn't need to make a post about that. Everybody was like acting really weird. So I just decided to go ahead behind the scenes and ask myself and say, what is all this like free Mihailo? And I was told he's been allowed to play. They've already told us he can play. What are you talking about? And I'm like, well, there's people on the internet that think he isn't. Like, why do they assume that he's not cleared? Illinois doesn't have to come out and just make a post and go, he's able to play, everyone. So I just wanted to clear that up with everybody. Mihailo's able to play.
Yeah, he is. And if you can go to the Illini Guys homepage right now, and even if you're not a member of the Illini Guys homepage, you can see the headlines. You can't jump on the message board or read the entire story, but the homepage by our dear friend, a guy we both love, Kedrick. The NCAA clears guard Mihailo Petrovic. He's good to go. So that is long. He got a clear probably before Tommy did, and this is a healthy thing. My understanding is probably going to be a junior, which I think is fair. Heck, I would thought it was fair if we only had him for 1 year. He's 23 years old, So yeah, it's nice to have him. My understanding today is Andrei Stojakovic could have played if it was a game that meant something. He didn't. It is a scrimmage. Mihailo would have played more if it was a game that meant something. He did tweak his and so we're fine. So do we play him against Jackson State in a week from tomorrow?
Probably not.
Probably not, dude. That's just fun to talk about the fun because this
for Texas Tech 10 days later, probably.
Right. And so this is really nice to this is such an Illinois basketball. For years I remember watching Illinois basketball, and I'll go back to Brandon Paul and DJ Richardson's freshman year. I was so excited to have these two freshmen coming in. You had Peoria roots with DJ, BP3 coming in from Gurney. I really liked his game, his athleticism. It was so exciting. Or Adam Miller. But you were kind of waiting to watch that one guy, that one freshman on the team, or Andre Curbelo or Kofi or whomever, or Io. When they all came in, you're excited for the freshmen. Well, for Illinois, every year now, it's like we got 8 new guys. So it's the excitement to watch Jackson State. It's the excitement to watch the final 10 minutes of a game against a team we should beat by 30 and see how these guys come in off the bench and play. And I love the fact that they're doing these scrimmages. Florida's a very good team. They have one of the best front courts in the country. I think we do as well. So my understanding, the guys played well. We had moments where we were better than them. They had money where they were better than us, and that's that. So, I'm encouraged by, what they did today from what I understand, what we could see. I was very encouraged by the scrimmage. My understanding, Keaton Wagler had a bounce-back game. My understanding, Colin Boswell had probably 22 points.
Let's be honest, Kev. Boswell's been balling. We kind of that doesn't surprise us, does it? I mean,
my guy Matt Dalton. I'm not throwing shade on you, bro, dude. Kylan Boswell is a really good player, and so this will be a fun basketball season. I'm very bullish on this team. I hopefully Ryan next week, maybe we can get our guys Matt or Ferran or Jay Bagan on to talk a little more hoop season, what our expectations are going in.
Oh, for real.
We have no game preview coming in the next week.
Yeah,
we just have Rutgers to break down, and then we'll probably do a bifurcated show. First half recap Rutgers, second half it's all about basketball.
Yeah,
or vice versa
for Jackson State. Yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and announce that on this show. There's going to be I'm wanting to do a little bit more. So we do one a week, and then I do the fade the deuce, and that's Kev's cool with that, and that's something he wants to do is fade the deuce. We all have families and things, and I don't want to take time from anybody, but one thing I think more people consume a lot of, right, is post-game reaction stuff, right?
100%.
So with the basketball season, and I think I'm expecting a big year. I'm really excited about next week's show, though, Kev, because the next half, the second half, we're going to do our basketball predictions, right? Our season predictions. So the second half of next week before Jackson State it'll be November 2nd, Sunday, November 2nd. So we're going to talk post recap Rutgers and then mainly just talk hoops. I'll probably have Jay Bagan on. So Justin Began. Any night on post game that Kev wants to join, you can. So just feel free. If you're like, dude, I'm excited, I'm stoked, we beat Texas Tech, baby, I want to get on. So, but a lot of times he probably won't be able to. I'm going to have Jay Bagan, who is a hoops connoisseur. He loves it. He's co-hosted and been, fill in for when Kev couldn't for Keeping It Orange and Blue. I'm going to have him jump on with me, and we're going to break down and do a little post-game show for pretty much every basketball game. There's going to be one or two in there. Maybe we can't, but I think consistency is key, and people consume this stuff. They love it. I never really felt the need to do it in the past, but I think it's important to grow this show even more, and people do care, obviously, what we've got to say. I've noticed that. So, and I appreciate it. So I think we're just going to do some after games for basketball. We're going to do, even if it's 20 minutes, right? Maybe 15, but we're going to come on, do a post game recap of key moments, get things that we want to see for the next game, and just recap, the games, because I think this season's going to be super exciting, Kevin.
Yeah, they've got a lot of firepower. They've got some size. They've got some strength. They got the power. They got the speed to be the best in the Big Ten league. No,
it's pretty close. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I think they're a legit top three. I think Purdue and Michigan and Illinois. Illinois is right there. I'm telling you. I think.
Dude, we'll talk more about this next week. UCLA is really freaking good. Donovan Dent. If you never watched him play at New Mexico State last year, guy is a really good ball player. He is a great fit for Mick. And then, man, the team that people are sleeping on, Washington is going to be a dog this year. Washington is going to be really good. They got Desmond Claude and Wesley Yates from USC, and they got a big German kid that is a stud. Watch out for Washington this year. I think that
how the hell did Musselman lose Yates?
I don't know,
dude.
Well, Yates originally committed to Washington, sat out a year, came to USC, and so it's
Washington. Yes, don't get me wrong. I think that is true. But the sad thing is for those, you saw those Washington and they still struggle, man. They got all those cross court flights, dude. Those cross country flights.
It's going to be a challenge. It is definitely.
That's the biggest part for them, is because when these teams like Illinois come out, they get a knock out these West Coast trips like this. Boom, boom. They're on the West Coast. They play 2 games every time.
And by the way, they also have BJ Roy, who is Brandon Roy Jr., who he just got 3 fouls called against Illinois players, and we haven't even played the game yet. So
Brandon Roy's son, huh? Yeah. And Brandon Roy is
Hans Steinbach, from 6'11" guy who put the ball on the floor. They're gonna be a fun team, dude.
The Big Ten. I think I'm gonna be honest. Everybody's talking about the SEC, but Big Ten's really gonna be. I think you're gonna have 6 teams probably in the top 15, if not more. Yeah. But all I'm saying is it's gonna be fun. Illinois year. They're deep. They're long, they're experienced, and they're skilled. That is key. They can shoot it.
Yeah, I want to hop in a little bit of an argument here. All right.
Okay.
First off, SDR, love you. Billy Mo, love you. I'm team Billy Mo on this argument. These two guys are arguing in the chat about Brett Bielema and what he's doing here at Illinois and whether or not we would take Brian Kelly or James Franklin over Brett Bielema. James Franklin is the only one of those two guys that has anything to make a case. And here's the reason why. Because he won at Vandy somewhat. Like I think he went 7-6 or 8-4 at Vandy. So he won at a school that is traditionally poor in football in a rich P4 conference. Was Power 5 then. Brian Kelly's never done that. Brian Kelly's never recruited at a school like Illinois with restrictions from an academic standpoint or a team that hasn't been good at this level. He left Cincinnati or wherever he was at.
Yeah, he left Cincinnati, to go to Notre Dame.
Right. So he's Notre Dame and LSU where he's had all the things blessed for him.
Central Michigan, Cincinnati, Notre Dame, LSU.
Right. You cannot sit here and look at what Brett Bielema is doing and compare it to Curt Cignetti, and you can, but you have to understand that Curt Cignetti is the outlier. He's not the rule. What he's done, he might be the best college football coach this side of Nick Saban or Urban Meyer. And they hit the jackpot with it. They hit the jackpot with Eli Lilly money. They hit the jackpot with Cuban money when they got Cignetti, and he found a way to win. And he brought in all those JMU guys who knew him and knew how to play his system. And it's been great. I don't know what you would do without Brett Bielema. We're going to win at least 8 games for the third time in 4 years. Like, you want to fire Brett Bielema for what he's doing? You're mad at him because we're not going to make because we're not going to be a top 12 football team. We're going to be a top 15 football team. Come on, man. Come on. Like, what Brett Bielema has done here has been amazing. All we ever asked for was we just want to be Iowa or Wisconsin. If we can't be Iowa or Wisconsin, can we be Minnesota? Well, I'm sorry. Iowa, Wisconsin, maybe not Iowa. Wisconsin and Minnesota would love to be Illinois right now. They would love to be where we're at. They'd love to be where Brett Bielema is at. And you know what? Everybody shits on PJ Fleck. That dude's a pretty damn good coach and done a really good job at Minnesota. He's actually being mentioned for some of these big jobs because he's done a really good job. Illinois sits in one of the smallest cities in the entire conference. Illinois has not had major funding back the program until recently with Geese. Illinois has been Indiana was the worst.
It was in Seattle, by the way.
Right. Like, we just haven't had that. Like, we've never been good. And now all of a sudden we're going to win 8 games for 3 times in 4 years. I'll put it out there. I have no doubts this team's going to win 8 games. We have first round draft picks that have come out of this coaching staff. Isaiah Williams had 200 yards today. Like, we have Pat Bryant caught a touchdown. We got guys getting drafted every year and playing in the NFL under Brett. Like, what he's done here has been amazing. Is it as good as Curt Cignetti did? Hell no.
No.
But who else does that?
Who is? Yeah,
who is? And who's Clark Lee when Diego Pavia finally graduates? Who's Clark Lee when Diego Pavia graduates?
Yeah, you're gonna have to find another just diamond in the rough. But
listen to Lehman talk about it on the Warner Show or on The Drive every Monday. What's the Cignetti group like? He had guys that he had a lot of them for 1 year, and he had a lot of them for 2 years. What's it going to be like when those guys are gone and he's bringing people up in the program? Is he going to continually stay in the portal? Now he's going to have to go to the portal to guys he doesn't know. And yeah, Mendoza worked out. The kid's amazing. But what's going to happen when he goes with guys he doesn't know? Like, how's that going to work? Listen, Illinois is building something here, and people are talking about, Hankins is looking at Missouri. You know what? You want to go look at Missouri's schedule? We're going to go look at Missouri's schedule and tell me who's going to finish with a better record. Illinois is going to finish with a better record. Frankly, I hope we get to play them in the ReliaQuest Bowl, which is some projections that are out there.
Yeah, I think. And by the way, they just lost Bo Prabula to a dislocated ankle. Their starting quarterback.
By the way, did you see Cam Scadabo's?
How the hell is that only an ankle dislocation, dude? It looked like his foot was hanging off his.
That's what happens when you dislocate an ankle or knee. Oh.
I mean, yeah, and the man's sitting there just like this, like, get me out, tapping his helmet. How many people would be screaming in agony, dude? Like, Cam Scadaboo's a different breed, man.
He's tougher than a $2 steak, man.
Yeah. I will say, so SDR, we all love you, but you've lost this argument. I think I was reading him trying to argue saying that Elijah Surratt and all the other studs on Indiana, that Gabe Akis and Xavier Scott have better draft grades. Xavier Scott's draft grade, there ain't no way in hell right now that his draft grade's better. And Gabe Akis is losing around every game because he's like no showing.
We'll see when that dude goes out there at 265 pounds and runs a 4.5, 540.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think he's a day 2 probably pick. So, but to say that those guys, hold on a second, not just Elijah Sarah. What did Bill Moe say here? Hold on. Yeah, it's D'Angelo Pons and Mikhail Kamara. Yeah,
D'Angelo Pons might be round 1, man. Like, dude,
he reminds me of like Avonte Davis, doesn't he? He's like Avonte Davis.
The linebacker's a first-round pick. Like, I mean, dude, that Austin, whatever. Like, dude, they got dudes, man.
Bill Moe wants to scrap with SDR. I don't know about setting a ring up. We'll set a cage up, man. No finger poking, dude.
No, dude, guys, let's just go have a beer. And we're going to go over by the baseball lot for Northwestern. We're hang out with my boy Bob for that one. Let's just have a beer and talk about our love for the Fighting Illies, man. Like, come on, man. Hey, Missouri can look at whoever they want. They got Texas A&M next week. They go at Oklahoma and at Arkansas to finish the season. And I know people are like, at Arkansas score some points. They can figure out a way. So, hey, dude, stop this nonsense, you two.
Oh, SDR says he's going to eat your lunch, but Bill Moe. Anyway, I like that though. So I'd be okay with the ReliaQuest Bowl. I mean, I think
I'm going. If that happens, I'm going. Like, I'm going to Tampa. My wife already said, "Let's go, baby. Let's take in the family. Let's have a little quick vacation."
What if it's the Music City Bowl in Nashville?
No.
No,
I'm probably going to Nashville for the basketball game. So.
Okay. No. All right, you guys. Enough with your. Look. No offense. I like Bill Moe, but he is getting close to his senior years. He's an awesome guy.
Both of them are. This is being Jerry. They're talking about watching Gary Moeller games. Like, come on.
Yeah. As you guys, 60-year-old men fighting. Now, with that said, I want to finish with what Kev was going at. What Brett Bielema has done to this program, man. It's not Kurt Cignetti, but it's so awesome. I still think if Illinois finishes 9-3, they're going to backdoor their way into the top 25 of the CFP rankings again.
We're going to be like 15. I mean,
I don't know about all that. That's true. Which
probably last year. We're talking about one of the
I think Illinois finished 17 or 18 before they played in the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah,
and then they won the Citrus Bowl and got put at 15. So
and all this ass licking going on for Vandy. They're going to go to Texas and lose this week, and then they're going to go to Tennessee to finish the season and lose. And like there we go, we're fine. Like, dude, it's hard. It's hard to win 9 or 10 games in major conference football, dude. It's really hard.
Yeah, it is. It is hard to win 9 games. But anyway, Illinois, I think, gets to 9-3. They're going to be in the top 20 of the CFP final rankings before they go to a Florida Sunny Bowl game. Because trust me, the rest of the Big Ten's going to eat themselves up too. USC's going to go pummel Nebraska on Saturday because Nebraska is just not good, and I've already said that they're not good. USC is going to probably put 35-40 on them. And can Nebraska score more than 28? I don't think so. Rayola just makes too many mistakes. Also,
wait a second. Wait a second. USC's favored by 6.5 points. Where are they playing the game?
It's a home dog in prime time.
Give me the Huskers. I'm going to tell you right now and pay the dues. Give me the Huskers plus the 6.5, baby. USC still not figured out a way to travel. USC still not figured out a way to travel. I want USC to win. Nebraska covers.
Yeah, so Iowa still has to go to LA and play USC in the Coliseum.
Yep.
And Iowa has to beat Oregon at home, which I'm telling you, dude, even though Dan Lanning's team didn't look good at home against Wisconsin, he's going to have those guys ready to go in Kinnick. There's just a lot of eating themselves coming up. So Illinois just needs to take care of business, and that 9-3 is going to look pretty good at the end of the year.
I tell you a team that I think punched their ticket to the college football playoff on Saturday.
Who?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, probably.
Ole Miss is in. Lane Kiffin is in. The question is Lane Kiffin punching his ticket to the college football playoff. They've got South Carolina at home. They got the Citadel at home. They got Florida at home. They go at Mississippi State to finish the season.
How does Mississippi State blow that game to Texas, dude?
Oh, dude, I don't know. That'll be a tough one. But this college coaching carousel is going to be nuts. You got LSU open, you got Florida open, you got Penn State open, like
yeah. And by the way, and
UCLA.
some guys made some comments in here too. That's why I think it's key, though, if Brett Bielema does, there's going to be tons of guys, though. There is. Even if it's a Bart Miller, a move or something like that, there's going to be tons of candidates that Brett Bielema needs to think about. Where can I help push this program forward? Like our offense, and is Barry Lunny going to stay, right, Kev? There's so many things that we can talk about. You know,
well, I don't think Barry stays because I think what you're going to see happen is some guys are going to get like some guys going to leave. One of these like middle tier, like I don't know where. I don't know who. Like
UAB's open right now. I could see Barry Lunny doing a hell of a job there.
Right, but I think he would have something a little bit better than UAB. But
USF or Memphis, their coaches are going to leave. Alex Golish is going to
leave. That's where you go, Memphis, because it sits on the Arkansas border. That's where Barry's from. His dad's a coaching high school legend there. He's got
Memphis. There you go.
Right. Because what's going to happen is whoever's going to leave a bigger job, right? Clark Lee. Is Clark Lee going to take the bigger job? Is Lane Kiffin going to take a bigger job? And then let's say Lane Kiffin leaves and Ole Miss hires Clark Lee, so now Vandy's open. Is that where the Memphis coach goes? Is that where Golish goes?
Because Barry Lunny's first job's not going to be at like a Vanderbilt in the SEC or something like
that. No.
Which is why Ryan Walters taking the Purdue job was bad, and Brett Bielema told him, "You don't want to do it."
Dude, is it hard to like look at the guy now and hear what he says and still? I don't dislike him at all. I'm really thankful for 22. I just wish he didn't go to fucking Purdue.
Yeah, true. So there's tons of things coming up with this carousel of coaching and wild things, and we'll be talking about that. But it is time for final thoughts. We've been going for almost an hour here, Kev. I will give you the floor first. Your final thought after basketball scrimmage with Florida, after a defensive struggle, debacle, heading into Rutgers. What's your final thought here? It doesn't even have to be about that, as you know.
Hey, dude, we're 5-3 and through October. We're one win away from being bowl eligible. Like, remember who we are and where we came from. With that being said, lock in here. Like, I saw some things going around on Twitter today that just made no sense. They're like, well, if you don't make the college football playoff, does it make any sense? And I get what people are saying, because it's like, if you don't make the NCAA tournament, it doesn't make any sense. Well, the difference is, dude, we're going to go to a bowl game that's going to say we're in a Sweet 16. If I told you the basketball we make the Sweet 16, everybody'd stand up for it. Like, what we've done at Illinois, we've not won 9 games in a regular season in back-to-back years in the history of the school. It still matters. Playing big bowl games still matter. Getting practices for guys like Carson Boyd and other guys like that still matter. This program still matters. This program still really is a good program. There's opportunities for Illinois here. Don't give up on this. Saying that because we don't make the college football playoff is pointless. Yeah, I get that. If you're an LSU fan, I get that. If you're a Florida fan, if you watch your team win multiple national championships, hell, I get it if you're an Auburn fan, which Auburn would love to be where we're at. It doesn't make sense if you're an Illinois fan. What did you guys all say when we hired Brett Bielema? Just make back-to-back bowl. Just make a bowl game every year. Just make a bowl game. Well, he's going to make a bowl game in 3 of his first 5 years, and 3 of those seasons are going to be 8-win teams, and the other 2 are 5-7. They were 1 win away. He was 1 win in 2 seasons from taking the team to 5 straight bowl games, because I'm telling you what, we're not losing out. There ain't no chance in hell we're losing out. This team is a good football team. We got a phenomenal quarterback, phenomenal kid. We got phenomenal seniors on this team, phenomenal people. Come support these guys. You've got 3 opportunities left to watch Luke Altmaier play a home game at the University of Illinois. Go support them. Get your ass in the seats. I don't give a shit if it's cold. You know where it's going to be cold? November 22nd in Madison. Where am I going to be? Up from Oklahoma in Madison at the game, wearing orange, doing jump around as they leave their ass early in the 4th quarter.
Senior night, right after Thanksgiving. Where are you going to be, Kev?
In Champaign, watching Illinois play Northwestern. Because lately I haven't missed that game. I did miss it last year, but like, dude, this is come support. Like, don't give up. Like, dude, if I told you, like somebody said earlier, if I told you we would have 2 seasons where we can win not back-to-back 9-win seasons, yeah, it takes a little bit of luster off, dude. Yeah, it would have been really cool to beat Northwestern and go 10-2 and then hold hope out for, like, could we get in the CFP? The fact of the matter is, Illinois is a damn good football team, and we're moving in the right direction. So, and know that Geese donation is not for the stadium only. Part of it will be donated for the stadium. Part of it will be for the program. Larry Geese, like, let's give this full context here. The athletic department, when he made the big donation and made it the Geese Business School, talked to him, would you be interested in donating to the athletic program? He said no. Now, when NIL is a thing, he said, yes, I will. Because Larry Geese did not want his money to go nefariously to an illegal, by NCAA standards, operation. It's now completely legal. He's okay with some of that athletic budget that he's donating that $100+ million to go into NIL funding, to go into other things. Is it for Memorial Stadium? Yeah, a lot of it is. But we've got money to spend there. So just support this team. Hey, by the way, really unfortunate weekend for the women's volleyball team in some respects. Other respects, I think we need a new coach. So we dropped back-to-back games, got swept by Purdue. Understandable, really good team. We beat them at their place. They were pissed off. They came in and gave it to us.
Michigan won.
3-0 to Michigan. That's not a good Michigan team. So unfortunately, we're all right though. So,
but I will say that it is not too late for them to keep doing well and make the NCAA tournament. I think they can still do it. Now, my final thought. Congrats to the Illini women's soccer team, who got a big draw against Michigan that not only knocked Michigan out of the Big Ten tournament, that sealed their fate, that sealed their spot in the first women's Big Ten soccer tournament they've made in quite a while. And it was a big point for them. And I think they're now, if they can beat Ohio State, which is going to be tough, they're a ranked squad. I think they might be looking good to make the NCAA tournament. So the Illini women's soccer program is going up. I still think that the volleyball program is in a good place, but I think Chris Tomas has got to have a strong showing here, because you don't want to get lost.
It was arguable, like, where it sat in the hierarchy of Illinois sports. It was in the top 5 or 6 with Illinois women's volleyball on campus,
yes.
And it's not anymore. So
no. But I also want to make a shout out and mention too, the Illini. I'm expecting a big year from Illini women's basketball. So
we got some young studs.
Some studs, Destiny Jackson. I'm just telling you, Gretchen Dolan, Barry Wallace. They're just some really, really good players, and I think this year's team is going to be one that stays in the top 20, top 15-ish. Like I'm telling you, they're going to battle to have home court. Think about this, Kev. When was the last time Illinois women hosted a regional in Champaign?
I think
this is the first time.
Grants, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, but that's when they played those games at Huff Hall, by the way.
But that's the point.
Yeah, but this year is going to be a fun year for all the basketball programs.
Aaliyah Guyton.
Again, yeah, AJ Guyton's daughter, Aaliyah. Anyway,
Letty Masculones.
6'7" shot blocking. Yep. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. And please, if you have not subscribed on our YouTube, tell a friend and then have their friends tell their friends. Please do. Keep it in orange and blue. Coming at you. We'll be back for Fade the Deuce Wednesday night. Kev did not have a good week. Man, he might have just hurt himself right there. But it happens. It happens. I can't even remember what my lock was, man. We'll come back Wednesday and and join us then. So you'll still make a little bit of money. You may not have last week, but you will going forward. Anyway, Swami out.
ILL.
I-N-I.
Ryan and Kevin, they're spitting the truth. Keeping it real, keeping it orange and blue. Yeah, talk that. Project like, project. Ryan and Kevin, they're spitting the truth. Keeping it real, keeping it orange and blue. Talking recruit, who's next in line? Line our pride, it's about that time. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue. From the court to the field, every play, every step. Debating the cause where the game is at. Who's rising, who's falling, who's making the cut. Line 9 for life, never stuck in the rut. Okay, recruiting buzzer got the inside line. Post game chatter, they're always on time. Breaking it down, they're the voices you trust. Orange and blue, yeah, they repping for us. Orange and blue, yeah, that's how we do. Post game vibes, breaking it through. Ryan and Kevin, the crew that you knew. Keeping it fresh, keeping it orange and blue, yeah. So tune in, lean back, let the wisdom flow. Ryan and Kevin with the knowledge they throw. Line 9 Nation, this one's for you. Forever proud, keeping it orange and blue, yeah.